All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are starting division today. I know it's been a minute since you guys have done division because you took a vacation since March of last year to the beginning of this year. One-digit division with a one-digit divisor is actually pretty easy. This number on the outside is your divisor. This number is your dividend. And this answer is a quotient. So that's the vocabulary. You need to know those things. Now, dividing with a one-digit divisor is very easy. However, by Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to start with two-digit divisors. So I'm going to show you the process of how to do it. Some people said, I do it a different way. That's fine. But when I'm demonstrating, I'm going to demonstrate the process of doing it. You're going to say, I don't need you to do all that with a 5 as my divisor. That's fine. If you know the process, it doesn't matter how big your divisor is. So if you'll follow along with the process, it's going to make your life much, 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 much easier. Now, I already recorded one video in my first class, and I put it on the Classroom of Google. I'm going to record this video and put it on the Classroom of Google. And I'll probably do one every day in every class for the next 3 or 4 days. So if you get stuck and don't know how to do it, you can go back and look at the video. You may, yes, sir. Okay, I'm gonna talk through it first, okay? Since this is the first time doing it, I'm gonna talk through each step. And the first thing you need to know is 735 divided by 5. You say the dividend first. This is what you're dividing, the dividend. So if you tell me 5 divided by 735, you're telling me this is the problem you're doing. And that's not the problem you're doing. I always start by saying the dividend first. So 735 divided by 5. Once I know my problem, I'm going to list the multiples of my divisor. So I'm going to take 5 times 1 is 5. Times 2 is 10. Times 3 is 15. Times 4 is 20. Times 5 is 25. Times 6 is 30. Times 7 is 35. Times 8 is 40. And times 9 is 45. I only have to go out to 9 because I am only ever putting one digit at a time up here. I'm not putting more than one digit at a time. I'm only doing one digit at a time. So now, I ask myself, first, is 5 going to go into 7?
Yes.
Yes. Now, the reason I list my multiples is I want to find the multiple that's closest to 7 without going over, without being bigger than 7. It's like the Price is Right, where you want to bid as close as you can without going over. Price is Right? I don't even know what you're talking about. That's fine. So I look at my multiples. I have 5, 10, 15, all the way down to 45. So which one of these multiples is closest to 7 without going over, Christian?
The 1 times 5.
1 times 5 because it's 5. Since I know 5 goes into 7, I know right now my quotient is going to have a 3-digit whole number. It's really important to figure out how many digits are in your quotient. Otherwise, you forget to put a 0 sometimes where it goes if you don't figure out how many digits are in your quotient. So as Christian told me, 5 goes into 7 one time. I I get a remainder of, or I get 2, and then when I subtract, I bring down my next number, which is 3. Then I go back and I do my same step again. I need to get as close to 23 as I can here without going over 23. As close as I can without going over 23. So, Jacob, which one of these is as close as I can get to 23 without going over?
3 times 15.
Now we're multiplying 5 times what?
4 times 20.
Okay. Times 5. 4 times 5.
20.
So my 4 goes up here above the 3 because it's going into 23. And I know 4 times 5 is 20. And I subtract and I get my 3. I bring down my next number, which is 5, which means my next digit in my quotient is going to be above the 5. And then I look back at my multiples. I have all these multiples, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, all the way to 45. Layla, which one of my multiples is closest to 35 without going over? 7. 7 times 5 is 35. And I get 0. So I have no remainder on this problem. But I knew before I started I was going to have no remainder. Because I know my divisibility rules. And they go in evenly. The rule for 5 is if it ends in a 5 or a 0, it goes in evenly. I'm glad y'all are writing this down so you have it to refer back to. That'll be very helpful. Let's see, 629 divided by 7. I'm going to list my multiples of 7. So times 1 is 7, times 2 is 14, times 3 is 21, times 4 is 28, times 5 is 35, times 6 is 42, times 7 is 49, times 8 is 56, and times 9 is 63. So those are my multiples of 7. Now I'm going to look. Does 7 go into 6?
Yes.
No.
No. 6 is smaller than that.
Oh, yes.
I can't take 6 and break it up into 7 groups. Well, I could, but I'm not going to have whole numbers, which is, we're not dealing with that right now. So I am not going to have a number above the 6. Ain't going to happen. Doesn't happen. Now, is 7 going to go into 62?
Yes.
That means I have to have a number above the 2, and I have to have a number above the 9. Very important that you know how many digits are going to be in your quotient. So now I'm taking 7 into 62. I look at my multiples. Allie, what is closest to 62 without going over? 8, which is 56. So 7 goes into 62 8 times. 8 times 7 is 56. Then I subtract. What?
Oh, I was just gonna.
What is it, Christian?
So you
Just tell me the answer.
4.
6
6.
and then 4.
Then I bring down the 9. Now I'm looking at my multiples again. Landon, I need to get as close to 69 as I can get without going over.
You have to have a remainder.
Okay, but which one of these multiples, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, or 63, is as close to 69 as I can get without going over? 63. And that's times 9. And 9 times 7 is 63. And then I subtract.
6.
Braden? And I get 6. I have nothing else to bring down, so 6 is my remainder. Now we're not going to work on checking them today, but if I were to check it, I would multiply 89 times 7 plus 6, and I would want that to equal 629. That would tell me if I did my work right. Take your quotient times your divisor and add your remainder, and it should equal your dividend. We're not working on that today. And most of you are like, I don't need to list all my multiples. Well, when you divide by 37 tomorrow or Wednesday, you're going to need to list your multiples. Let's take the last one, 439 divided by 9. I'm going to list my multiples of 9. Times 1 is 9, times 2 is 18, times 3 is 27,
36.
times 4 is 36, times
45,
5 is 45,
2,200, 63, 72, and 81. 81 and then 90.
times 8 is 72,
9 is
times 9 is 81. So I list my multiples. Now you'll have them on a multiplication chart on all the one-digit divisors, which is fine. You won't necessarily have to do it. But if you ask for my help, I won't help you unless I see the multiples written down. So Kate, does 9 go into 4?
No.
No. I will not have a number above the 4. Kate, does 9 go into 43?
Yes. No. Yes. No.
It does. It's going to go in. Because 43 is bigger than 9. So it's going to go in, which tells me I have a 2-digit quotient. I have a 2-digit quotient. So now I look at my multiples. And I need to get as close to 43 as I can without going over. So Addie O, which one of these is as close to 43 as I can get without going over?
4.
4, because that's 36. If I went 5, that's 45, so that's too big. So I multiply by 4, it's 36,
1.
and I subtract, and I get, Landon? No, don't get 13.
7.
Get 7. I get 7. I bring down my next number, which is 9. And I look at my multiples here. I need to get as close to 79 as I can without going over. As close to 79 as I can without going over. Ashlyn, what is as close to 79 as I can get without going over?
7. Oh, no, 8.
8. It's 72. So above the 9, I have to have an 8. And I looked at my multiples because I listed them because I'm smart. And if I say 8 times 9, I already know it's 72. I don't even have to do that math anymore. Then I subtract, I get a remainder of 7. So 48, remainder 7, because I have nothing else to bring down. Listing the multiples. Pain in the butt? Yes. Helpful? Yes. Takes much longer? Yes. Helpful? Yes. Especially when we get to 2-digit divisors. Boom, shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you, do something kind today.